Hello everyone, hope you're having a great day. In today's video I'm going to be discussing the USI Snackmart 36 upgrade kit solution from N1 Technology, and I'm just going to go through a quick unboxing of the video and talk a little bit about the product. This control board solution originally came out in 2010. It was for the original to replace the original versatile controller in Snackmart 3 machines, I believe the 3013, 3014. And then in 2019, we sort of upgraded this board so it's possible to work in additional model machines, because a lot of the USIs can use either a 3-pin power, incoming power to the board, or it can use a 10-pin cable, a 10-pin power harness. Likewise, the keypad could be either an 11-pin or a 13-pin. One way to quickly identify most likely what keypad you have in your machine is just look at the keypad membrane itself. If it does not have a pound and a star key, most likely it's an 11-pin keypad. If you do have a pound and a star, then it's a 13-pin keypad assembly, and most likely you'll have a 10-pin power cable as well. Let's take a look at some of the connectors on the board right here, and we'll start at the bottom. You have J4 keypad right here at the bottom. Coming up the left side of the board, you have J6 micro mech. That's where your dumb mech changer will plug into. Above that is MDB. The 6-pin adapter cable comes in the kit box. It's an MDB extension 11-1700-06. Gives you a little extra reach if you need it. Above MDB, we have executive mech that is not used. Above executive mech is J7 bill validator. That's where your pulse bill validator will plug in to the new control board from the factory cabling in your machine. Most likely you got a Coinco BA30 or 32SA. It'll have a harness that'll plug directly to J7 bill validator. At the top of the board we have J1 power, that's incoming power. Your machine will either have a 10-pin power cable with pin number 6 keyed that'll plug directly to the board, or we have an adapter cable in the kit for some machines. This end will plug to J1 power, the 1721, and the 3-pin connector will plug into your machine side. So the 3-pin power to your original board, you're going to plug this cable into it and then plug it into J1 power. At the top of the board we have J2 display. That's where the display cable will plug into. Coming down the right side of the board you have DEX, which is J5 DEX. You can plug in your card reader there if you like. Then you have a door switch, 2-position door switch, and then a 20-pin inline motor harness connector. That's where your motor harness will plug in from the machine. Your service mode buttons could be either yellow or gray, and then the keypad at the bottom. So let me talk about that for a minute. There's a cable in the kit. It's the 11-1700-20. It's going to have a male header side, which will plug to your machine harness. So you have the 11-pin keypad harness your machine. Plug the male header into that side. The 13-pin side will plug directly into the N1 board. Pin number 10 is keyed, and it'll plug directly right down there like so. It's easy to identify. If you walk up to your machine and you see a pound and a star button, you're going to have a 13-pin keypad. If you see just E, D, F, and G, which are actually the service mode keys, if you're emitting a pound and a star button, then you're going to have an 11-pin keypad. It's going to use E, D, F, and G for service mode. If you're using the keypad and power adapter cables, both these cables right here, you're going to want to turn switch number 3 on the control board on to affect the keypad change, so your keypad works right out of the box. And then the last connector we include, let me set this down, is the 11-1736, which is the factory iVent sensor. that USI manufactured for their snack machines. So if you have factory iVent sensors in your machine, you can reuse those with the N1 board with this cable right here. And so the end of the cable with the male header is going to plug into the factory iVent sensor harness. Sometimes there's a short jumper cable, maybe 4 to 5 inches, and you should remove that if you see that in your machine and just plug this cable directly to the optical sensors. And once you do that, you'll have 2 leads coming off the adapter cable. The green and brown wires are going to plug onto J6 micromech to provide power to the sensors. And then J9, which is the black and white wires, that's your optical connection, and that plugs right down here at the bottom of the board right there. So it's 2 connections to the board for your sensors. If you are planning to use the optional sensor cable, make sure you turn switch number 4 on the controller to activate the sensors. And then part 2 would be going into the options menu, find motor stop, and set that for either drop or both. If you set the machine for drop and a product doesn't turn, the motor will turn at half speed until a product drops and it completes the sale. The sensors could turn 1.5, 2 turns, but wherever the motor position is at the time that the product hits the sensor path, the motor will freeze at that position. It never comes back to home. So people need to be aware of that. Generally speaking, in a public location, you don't want to set sensors for drop mode. But if it's a location like a factory or the same people use the machine every day, you might want to set it for drop mode because they'll become familiar with the machine and they won't see anything wrong with it. But normally we suggest setting the sensors for both, motor stop position both, and that will put a message on the display if a product doesn't drop. For example, a customer puts their money in, they hit a selection, let's say E6 doesn't drop, and then the message is going to be placed on the machine that says, please make another choice. They could hit E6 again, and once the product drops, it will complete the sale, or they can just choose an entirely different product. So that's how the guaranteed sensors work with the N1 board. You have 2 choices, either drop mode or both mode. Thanks for watching, folks. Enjoy the rest of your day, and stay tuned for our next video.